Y'all asked for chicken videos, so here's a chicken video. We just finished rearranging a whole bunch of chickens today. So the way our coop is set up, we have one really large piece of the coop, we have two smaller pieces of the coop, and then we have a third section, or I guess a fourth section of the coop. And then we have one spare coop that we kind of use off and on. So I'll kind of show you around the pieces. The biggest piece is what we call the production pen or the layer pen, and that is the flock of chickens that is doing the bulk of our egg production at any given time. So that coop has been 1.5 to 3-year-old birds. So those birds are old enough that they are retiring. So what it means when they retire around here is they're just not laying as much as we want them to lay to be able to sell. So since we're selling the eggs, our goal is to get as close to 100% egg lay each day as possible. In other words, if we have 12 chickens in a pen, we would like to have 12 eggs at least a couple times a week. So with those older chickens, they're at about 50% lay right now, and that's just not good enough. And normally we sell each year as they molt, we sell, but we had 2 years in there when we couldn't do that because we didn't get enough young ones raised up to replace them. So we've got some older birds, and that's why it's about 50% now. So we're getting ready to start selling those older ones. The young ones that we started hatching in January and we've been raising, and I have to take a side note, our incubator situation was not what we wanted it to be this year. And so what we hatched in January, we lost quite a few. We hatched some in March that we kept. Those started laying several months ago. We had 2 hatches in there that we sold because we try to sell some chicks to cover some of the cost of raising the chicks. So that's a long way to say we're late getting eggs. Typically we want what we raise to start laying in July and August and September. But this year it was some in July, and then a big chunk are starting to lay here in October, more in November, more in December, even some all the way to January and February. And there's more eggs in the incubator now. So we're kind of always raising them. But we finally got a big enough chunk of these that we're getting enough eggs from the ones we raised to, we're collecting the same amount from the ones we raised as we were collecting from the old ones, so we can sell the old ones, and the ones we raised will continue to produce more so that we can have more. And part of why we sell in the fall is because our market closes, and then it's just a little harder to sell the eggs. Not because people don't want the eggs, we're just inconvenient. It's harder to arrange your schedule. If market is going, you know, every Saturday I can go to the market and I can get eggs. When market is not going, it's a little harder for people to make egg pickup into their schedule. So I'm going to show you what we've got set up now. We do have, when we moved them, we put leg bands on them all, and so by opening each bag of leg bands, we were able to keep track of how many we banded. So we have 75 hens or pullets that we raised this year from chicks, and we've sold probably about that many roosters already, 50 to 60 roosters. There's more in a pen over here to sell when they get bigger. But I'm just going to show you what's up out here, what we got happening. So this is the pen I called the production pen. It's loud in here because everybody's all excited and kind of crazy. We will get fewer eggs today based on just scrambling everybody up. But then hopefully within a day or two, everybody will settle back down. I had a bunch of leftovers in the fridge that I couldn't even remember how old they were. So the chickens are having a ball with that right now. But these are all the ones that we raised from chicks this year. So we've got all sizes, all the way from the ones already laying down to some little small ones like that little girl right there that we just moved over. We kind of looked at them and we said, who can we identify as a pullet? Moved them over here. As you see, we got lots of colors, lots of pretty girls. Now this flock will be getting layer pellets instead of chick feed, but I'm also going to kind of supplement with some chick feed as well, just because I have those younger ones in here. So they've started discovering their nest box. We will still need to do frequent egg collections. In fact, I'm going to do that after this video. Make sure that we're not breaking any. So there's about 70, or well, no, there is 75 in here. 75 right now, counting Soda Pop the rooster, because one pullet escaped. So we got to wait till she calms down and then try to catch her and put her back in here. But there'll be 75 pullets laying in this pen. Okay, when I said I have 2 smaller bits, what it is we have this wall that divides our coop in half. And then this side is divided in half again. So these are all the older birds. They are molting and they are older. So some of them look really bad. Some of them we will not sell. We will either just, so like Squirt right there, she was given to us, and the only stipulation with her is that we can't eat her. She gets to live out her life. And the people that gave her to us had no idea that she would live as long as she has, because she's like 5 years old now. But we let her stay around. She gets to hang out. Junior also gets to hang out. He's kind of retired. He's a little past good breeding age, but we let him hang out. And then we noticed a few this morning that are on the thin side, on the small side, and so we won't try to sell those and send them to somebody else. But mostly these are laying good enough to provide eggs for a family. They're just not laying good enough for us to be able to sell the eggs. So that's what they'll go for. This pen, the other half back here, with the goofy door that doesn't want to open again today. These girls were purchased. So we really like Red Star hens. Red Star is a F1 cross, so first generation cross between a Rhode Island red rooster and a Delaware hen. And this is a breed we've used for a long time. We really like it. We like to keep some in our flock. Last year we got some from a local breeder and we just weren't as happy with them. We didn't feel like they were as good quality as what we've had from the hatchery before, so we went back to the hatchery and ordered some this year. And so that's what's in here. And then we also have, that's Mr. Darlin. And that guy over there is Dud Wash, named after the characters on the Andy Griffith Show. And those are Whiting True Blue roosters. We like that cross on the Red Star. So about half of these will just be for going straight into egg cartons, and about half of them will be for breeding so that we can raise more mixed breeds next year for our mixed breed flock. And then also back in that corner right there, she is, I believe she's a silver-laced Wyandotte. She was our surprise chick in with this bunch. So these are not laying yet, but they should be starting in November. This is what we call the picket pen because it is made with fence pickets. That gives it good solid sides for chicks. So this is all we have left over here. These are either the ones that are too small for us to go, yep, that is definitely a rooster, definitely a hen, which I'm fairly confident most of these are pullets, which is exciting. That means I won't lose very many more of these to the rooster pen. But mainly they were on the small side. I didn't really want to throw them in there just yet. I didn't feel like they were big enough to hang out with those yet. And I didn't want to open another leg band package just yet. I was going to wait until these got a little bigger and I was going to move them before I catch them. And we have six little ones in here. I don't want to try to take down. I have to keep a cage around the top of this or the little ones sit on top and poop into the box. So I keep a cage around it. But these are some out of our incubator. Little bitty ones in there. They'll be ready to go on the ground in another week or two. So this pen has been full all year. So it's exciting to see that most of what we've raised in here has now, I think that might be a rooster over there. Most of these are now going into production to start laying eggs. So this whole coop is 600 square feet if you count the picket pen in the back as well. And if you're keeping up, there was 75 and 25, so that's 100. There's about 50 of these older ones that we need to sell, so that's 150. Add on a few roosters, add on the ones in the back. We're looking at a really good size coop. As you can see, they still have lots of room to move around in here. I've had a few people like, oh, I keep chickens. I can tell you, they don't have enough space. By all standards across the poultry industry, they have plenty of space, but also just looking at them, they have plenty of space. So they're going to be just fine. So the only other pen that we have is the roosters. Nothing really exciting going on there. Normally what we do is we put the roosters in the freezer and we eat them. We sell a few of them, but mostly we eat them. But we've had so many peas in the freezer this year, we don't have room for any roosters. Sorry. So as these, and they're little, but as they get bigger, we will take them and sell them. And we have a couple of different contacts that we'll just message and say, hey, I've got 15, 20, whatever roosters, and they come and take them all and take them home and they eat them. And that works really well for us. So that's where everybody sits right now. The only other pen out here is the ducks, and they're just out here doing ducky stuff. In fact, we need to go bail their pond and refill it with clean water this morning because it's about that time. We do that about once a month. But that's how everything's doing in the chicken pen. Y'all asked for chicken videos, so there's your chicken video.